everybody, it's Mattie here with Altcoin Buzz. Hope you're having a solid day. So we got a few news stories to look at today. As always, guys, we cover the positive news when there's positive news. We cover some of the negative news when there's negative news. It's not FUD, but that's just what's going on in the world. We're going to take a look at some of that. We're going to take a look at comments by John McAfee, what he's saying. He's back in the news. We're going to take a look at Safe Haven and their new partnership, what they're doing and what they're looking to accomplish in the future. Let's begin here with this article by James on altcoinbuzz.io. Bithumb, subject to the latest crypto heist. So pretty big story in the last 24 hours or so. By now, you've probably heard of it. And unfortunately, we have another hack on our hands. But as you guys are going to see, the effects of this are almost paradoxical. So one of Asia's largest exchanges, Bithumb, was subject to another of the latest crypto heists happening this year, having more than $30 million in assets stolen from the exchange earlier today. And you can take a look at what Bithumb official tweeted, which was, quote, "Notice for the temporary suspension of the deposits due to the increasing safety issues, we are changing our wallet system. Please do not deposit until we notify. All deposits are not deposited into your wallet until all changes are completed," end quote. So that was shortly followed by another comment, quote, "All deposit and withdrawal service will be stopped to make sure the security." To make sure the security. Somebody should have proofread that in their Twitter account. "We will keep notice you of the restart of the service. We apologize for your inconvenience and thanks for your understanding." I kid, guys. I think this is probably their, obviously not their first language, and they're trying to respond quickly. So we can appreciate their professionalism there. The funny thing about this heist, guys, or this hack, it is a hack, whatever you want to call it, though. So this is $30 million. And you may recall the CoinRail hack, which was in some senses more problematic for the market, because that led to a big retracement. As you recall, the CoinRail hack was $40 million on a much smaller exchange, and that manifested in 40, 50, 60 billion dollars in terms of ultimate market retracement. And yes, it was, combined with a couple of other things that led to a collective sense of FUD that was larger than the original story. But this is a weird one because it's still a large amount of money, don't get me wrong, $30 million, right, that was stolen from Bithumb. This is a much larger exchange, though. It's one of Asia's largest. It's $270 million in terms of daily trading volume, 24-hour volume. And if you recall, CoinRail was about 2 to 3 million. So we were just discussing this in our podcast, actually, talking about, if perhaps maybe the fact that this is a larger exchange means that it was able to absorb the shock of it more. And ever since yesterday, actually, it almost seems as if the market has recovered. So there was a 3% loss, as James pointed out, but it's not as bad as we were all potentially fearing when we first heard the news. Now, developments are still ongoing, and let's see what's going to happen. I don't want to jinx anything. But so far, I think we've been weathering the storm reasonably well. We're going to take a look at what's happening here with Satoshi Light, Mr. Charlie Lee, in a moment. We're going to take a look at his tweet. But just a reminder by James, guys, and make sure you heed this advice that, look, it's always a good idea to keep your funds, to keep your investments off the exchange sites. Even the greatest sites out there have that potential for foul play, for hackers to get involved, to get your funds. So we're going to link as well to our some of our cold storage suggestions in a moment. It's always better to keep your funds offline if possible. So take a look at Bithumb's responses. You're going to see here what I read previously. You can take a look at their official responses over the course of the last 24 hours or so. We'll link to that. What did Charlie Lee, Mr. Satoshi Light, have to say? Another day, another hack. Hopefully, Bithumb is able to cover this amount, though 30 million is not a small amount. So he almost seems like he's been desensitized, right? Like this is just something, it's not that it's a daily occurrence, but it happens enough where he's just got this lethargic kind of another day, another hack. As I said many times, be smart and only keep on exchange coins that you are actively trading. It's best to withdraw right after trading. So those are our sentiments exactly. That's the same advice that we would offer. And if you're interested in looking at some cold storage options, do be sure to check out this article from Sebastian, written last month, "The Best Cryptocurrency Wallets to Safely Store Your Funds." So we covered this previously. It outlines the difference between hot and cold wallets. You have different wallet options. You have cold storage coin options. It would be a good idea to invest in a cold storage solution if you haven't already. So we're going to link to that as well. And Mr. John McAfee is in the news yet again with this article by Licia. So Bitcoin will reach $500,000, but only if I am elected, says John McAfee, who, as we know, is running for president. So John McAfee is no stranger to various Bitcoin price predictions and has once again stated that Bitcoin will trade at $500,000, but that this is, of course, only if he gets elected as president of the U.S. So now he's kind of changing his tune, because previously he said that it wasn't about being elected. It was all about the campaign. It was always about the message during that process, the political process. So switching gears a little bit here. And of course, previously he said that he would eat his nether regions if Bitcoin didn't reach a certain price. He's been very vocal about this, talking about eating his shoe when he was speaking with Larry King. So he's made some very public bets that are going to be difficult to walk away from. And some other things mentioned in this article as well, before we get back to the main point, are just the fact that McAfee's raised all these new issues all of a sudden about cyber warfare, about the imminent threat of hackers going forward, which kind of lines up in a sense with news out of the US and the development of this Space Force that was just recently announced. But I think, on the whole, there is more and more of an effort now to safeguard against technological threats, whether it's a cyber threat, whether it's an institutional hack, whether it's a hack on Bithumb, for example, for $40 million. And I think, I bring in the topic of the Space Force because it's that defensive measure, as far as I understand, to protect some of the very, very expensive technological resources in space. So military satellites, communication satellites, corporate satellites, GPS functionality. We have so much in this grid, the electric grid, that we depend on. So McAfee's point here is just that it's something that we're going to have to safeguard more vigilantly as time goes by. But back to the main point here. So McAfee's talking about now that he needs to win the presidency in order for Bitcoin to thrive. And I find that, a little bit disconcerting. To me, this is all like a backdoor excuse for him to now use that, okay, well, if it doesn't hit 500,000, if it doesn't hit 1 million, well, that's okay because I wasn't elected president. I don't think he's going to be elected president, right? But now the thing is that he's got an excuse that's ready to go. He's got this, I wouldn't call it an ace, but he's got a card up his sleeve, and he can now make the claim that, well, look, yes, I did say it was going to hit 500,000 or 1 million eventually, but that was because I was going to announce my run for presidency. I was expecting to be able to win the presidency. So now, if he doesn't, this to me just seems like a cop-out that he's building up for himself if and when we do not hit that price point. And don't forget, he had a price prediction for June of $15,000 for Bitcoin, and we're already at June 20th here. We haven't really come close to that. What do you guys think? We just had the discussion in the podcast, and the suggestion was brought up that John McAfee is all about just this viral guerrilla marketing set of tactics, and he's all about saying outrageous things, outlandish things, hyperbolic things in order to get attention and in order to shine a spotlight on this space, on the cryptocurrency space. And maybe that is his strategy, and maybe that's an effective way to do it. But at any rate, whatever he says, you got to take with a pinch of salt. I think we've learned that lesson a few times now. You can read here about Chris's article, how John McAfee has changed his tune on Bitcoin and its price prediction that he offered. So that's going back to May 17th, a little over a month ago. This is an interesting article, a video from 5 days ago. So John McAfee, Bitcoin will hit $500,000 if he gets elected president of the United States. So take a look at that. It's an interesting little watch. McAfee is running for president of the United States. If you want to refresh yourself on the political sphere, as far as McAfee's concerned, Zach's article, June 6th. We're going to link to it below. And putting that aside, now we have an update on Safe Haven. So an article here by Licia. Safe Haven is moving to the VeChain Thor blockchain. So VeChain Foundation has announced that Safe Haven will switch from the Ethereum blockchain to the VeChain Thor blockchain. What's the reason for this? So the company states that it has reviewed Safe Haven's technology, network, and background and sees, quote, true value added to our platform by working together in partnership. This partnership will allow users to access a host of necessary solutions for continuity. Safe Haven is a really interesting project, guys, and we've gone over it before. I won't give you the full summary here. We're going to have a couple of links that you'll be able to refer to if you want to get brushed up with what they're all about and what they're trying to accomplish. But pretty interesting idea and pretty forward thinking, at least in my opinion. So it's rumored that one of the reasons that Safe Haven is moving beyond Ethereum and looking to basically something else is because of the scalability concerns. So there are some scalability concerns, and as the Safe Haven project grows, I suppose there was enough concern to warrant a consideration of another platform. So the company states, with the rise in crypto assets, digital inheritance has become a critical technological need to empower entire business procedures, individual legacies, and continuity for disasters. And according to VeChain, the Safe Haven Family Circle Distribution Protocol is currently being tested on the Ropsten network. VeChain also indicated that they will soon announce a date of VET private and public offerings. You guys can read more about this. We're going to refer you to the resources and links that we've spoken about before in a second. VeChain is a really interesting project. I would encourage you guys out there in the Altcoin Buzz Army to check it out if you haven't already. And you can read about that here. Safe Haven, building solutions for inheritance, asset distribution, and asset control on the VeChain Thor platform. Another article, introducing Safe Haven, inheritance solutions powered by the VeChain Thor blockchain. And you can check out the Safe Haven website here. So pretty interesting proposal. And this is certainly a unique project, a unique set of ideas in the cryptocurrency space, to say the least. If you're not up to speed on not VeChain rather, but if you're not up to speed on Safe Haven, you can read about Sebastian's full examination of what it is they're trying to accomplish, what the project is all about. So pre-ICO, Safe Haven, the solution to digital inheritance. And this is back from February 6th of 2018. If you have an opinion on this, guys, and maybe you're more technologically minded than I am, you can talk about the technological advantages of switching from Ethereum over to VeChain Thor, then do be sure to leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your perspective, and there are perhaps all kinds of advantages as well as disadvantages. So if you want to weigh the pros and the cons, please do be sure to sound off below in the comments. Other than that, guys, there's not a whole lot more going on today. There was this article that just came out about renewable energy. So Hydro-Quebec is our energy provider here where I am in the province of Quebec. And there's just all kinds of new demand for crypto mining that's emerging. So this is something that unfortunately I had to push off today. There was too much happening in the news. But we're going to take a look at that tomorrow. And for all other stories, do be sure you're checking out Altcoin Buzz News on Twitter. You're going to be alerted to the greatest if you follow Altcoin Buzz News. If you like this video, guys, you know the drill. Leave us a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed because we put out new content every day. We love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Do be sure to leave a comment below. And we'll see you again soon with a new video. Take care.